All right, good morning. I'm Councillor Glen, and this is my weekly update for Saturday, September 13th. As you can see, this morning I'm at Village Square Park, the site of today's Butter Tart Festival. It's the 4th annual Butter Tart Festival. It all starts at 10 a.m. and they're just getting set up here behind me now. You can't come before 10 a.m. Even I couldn't get my hands on an early bird butter tart, but it'll be mayhem, butter tart mayhem here, starting at 10 and going till 2, I believe. Anyways, always a great day here at Village Square Park. There's also today over at Johnny LaRue Arena an Applefest and Artisans Craft Market, so lots going on today. And as always, you can see a list of all sorts of upcoming Stittsville events on my website at glengower.ca/events, so do check that out. Jumping into this week's update, I wanted to start with a reminder. We've had a few notes from residents with concerns about drivers who are not stopping for school buses. So when a school bus is stopped and they've got the red stop sign out, lights flashing, picking up kids, I thought everybody knew about this, but apparently not. Drivers, you need to stop for that school bus. So please be careful. It's for the safety of kids. And residents, if you see a location where drivers are not stopping, report that to police. You can go to ottawapolice.ca/report. It's something police do put a lot of attention on. They'll send out a police officer in a vehicle to do some enforcement. They also have some automated camera enforcement on the buses, so some of the buses have that, and they can put those buses on a particular route if there's a significant problem. So thanks everyone for your cooperation to keep kids safe. This week at City Hall, pretty busy week. On Wednesday, City Council approved what's called the Budget Directions Report. This isn't the city budget, it's a report that gives a target to our city staff to work on to draft the budget, and then they present the budget to us in November. The target tax property tax increase that we've asked them to work on is 3.75%, a little bit higher than some years, but recognizing we have a lot of challenges our city's facing. OC Transpo, Ottawa Police looking to hire some more officers and have more community presence. But it's not as high as some other cities have raised taxes, and that's because we know that property taxes are already expensive. A lot of residents really concerned about affordability and cost of living, and adding to the property tax bill has an effect on owners and on renters. So trying to find that balance. Now, we're also in a city where there's going to be possibly a lot of layoffs in the next year, federal government and so on, and with everything happening in the national economy, perhaps other sectors as well. And so I think there's going to be a lot of people struggling, and there's going to be an even higher demand on city services. So it's going to be a real challenge to find that balance, to set a budget where we can deliver the services people need, but also not go too high on that increase where it really affects cost of living for folks. So more to come through the course of this fall, and I'd be very interested to hear from residents about where your thoughts are around the city budget. Yes, around tax increases, but also around what services are most important to you. Where do you think we need more investment? Maybe where do we need less investment? Send me an email. I'd love to hear from you. Also at City Council, I introduce what's called a notice of motion. So I give 2 weeks notice that at the next council meeting at the end of the month, I'm going to bring a motion for my colleagues about parking on Brae Street, on the kind of the north segment of Brae Street near the coffee shop and JoJo's, to restrict parking year-round on the south side of the street between Norway Spruce and Stittsville, Maine. We got approval a few months ago to do winter parking restrictions along that stretch, but I said if we're going to do winter, we might as well do year-round, and I need to go to council because there's not a regular policy that would support that. So anyways, a long bureaucratic and administrative nightmare that is, but that motion will be coming in a couple weeks. There's information on my website, and if it's something that's important to you, it wouldn't hurt to get some emails from residents sent to council so they know how you're feeling about it, and you can find more information on how to do that on my website, glengower.ca. Another big thing in the last week or so at the city is they've released the third draft, the final draft of the city's new zoning bylaw. So they're accepting comments and feedback on that until early October, and then it'll be coming to committee and council for a vote. I believe it's later this fall and into January as well. So still time to tweak and make changes to that, but please do check that out, and I'll have more to share in the next few weeks on my website and my videos, so stay tuned. We had our transit committee this week, tons of updates. You can find a recap on my website, but some highlights. The O train is line 1, Tunney's to Blair, is not running this weekend, at least not running for regular customer service, because they are doing extensive testing to integrate the Eastern line. So they're going to have 23 trains running back and forth from Tunney's Pasture all the way out to the new stations going out to Trim. And this is a really important milestone test towards being able to launch that service in the East End. They are getting close, so this weekend is a big opportunity to test out, simulate real service end to end, make sure everything is working great, make sure everything is safe. So that's good. We got an update on how things are going for LRT to the West End, to Moodie, and then south to Algonquin. We're still looking at early 2027 as the opening date there. You're going to start to see more trains running back and forth on the tracks that have been laid there just for some testing, so that's great. Found out yesterday, very short notice, that the Moodie Drive ramp onto the westbound Queensway is going to be closed starting Monday until December. Now this is a ramp that buses currently use after they stop at the Moodie station heading westbound. So there's going to be a number of changes. Most routes will be skipping that Moodie station because there's no way to get back on the highway. However, Route 62 will continue to serve that station. It'll take a small detour through the Greenbelt and then to Eagleson, where you can connect to some other routes. I'm trying to get some more information posted, but very last minute, so we'll have more information about that soon. At the Transit Committee, we had a big update on buses and reliability, and I've talked about this before in the video. We are dealing mainly with two things: a lack of buses in our fleet because we have an aging fleet and delays in receiving new buses, and we're dealing with a lot of on-street traffic due to construction, due to Transitway being unavailable because they're building LRT there, just due to increasing traffic from more people heading back to the office and so on. So I wrote a post, and I'll share it later this week, about just summarizing OC Transpo, what their plan is to improve reliability. And it is going to get better month by month, but it is going to take a bit of time before they have the fleet up to the correct number of buses to keep things moving reliably. Just to give you an example, I believe they need 521 buses in the morning to deliver service, and they're about 10 buses short on average every day. And so that's why we're seeing cancellations. That's why there's not enough spare buses in case buses are running late and so on. It's a huge issue, and I know it's really affecting residents. So I'll be sharing more information about that this week. Today at CARDELREC, if you want to check out the Rack and Roll practice rack, go to CARDELREC. There'll be folks there from Enviro Center helping out from 9 to 11. And then on Tuesday from 4 to 6 as well. So if you're looking for somebody to just walk you through how that works, great opportunity. You can try it out on your own anytime, but there'll be some extra help there today, 9 to 11, Tuesday 4 to 6, CARDELREC Rack and Roll Test Rack. And one other thing, I'll share a little bit more as we get closer, but the week of September 29th to October 5th is an event that a number of organizations are participating in and promoting, called the Week Without Driving. This is a North American wide advocacy event where it's encouraging people to try to leave their car at home and use other modes, the bus, walking, cycling, however you can get around, and just to be more aware about the barriers and limitations that people do face in our community. Week Without Driving. Coming up, let's talk about coming up. On Wednesday, there's a Planning and Housing Committee meeting. There is a Stittsville file. It's for the Stittsville South Future Neighborhood. And there's a report recommending an official plan amendment to lift the future neighborhood overlay. This is a very in the weeds, perhaps, or administrative process towards building a future neighborhood there. It's being built by Kaiven. I'm not happy with where that design is at so far for a number of reasons. One of them primarily is a lack of commercial amenities, like local retail amenities in that area. We're supposed to be building more walkable communities, including in the suburbs, and the plans we've seen so far for this neighborhood are 100% housing. There's some parks, absolutely, but it's residential. And I really think we need some provision for local retail. So people might have a coffee shop or a pharmacy, local services that they can walk to in that community. Now it looks like staff are including that as a condition, but I'm still not clear on how exactly or where exactly that'll be included. So we'll be discussing that a bit more at Planning and Housing Committee on Wednesday. And we're going to be doing a community meeting about this coming up in early October, just to bring people up to date. It's a very lengthy process to design a new community, and resident feedback has been helpful to shape that as we go. So we're going to do an update later this fall. Cleaning the Capitol. Next Saturday we're doing a special neighborhood cleanup day at the Rotary Peace Park over at Stittsville, Maine, Cherry Drive. We're looking for volunteers still, so come out and join us for that. Send me an email if you'd like to volunteer, and we'll share all the details. So that's next Saturday. We got a heads up yesterday. On Friday, there's going to be a contractor doing Borehill drilling testing along the Henry Walker Grove pathway. So this is west of some of the houses in Westridge. There's a pathway that goes from Henry Walker Grove to Hazeldean, and just you're going to see some equipment there doing some drilling. This is groundwater testing. It actually has to do with a future neighborhood study that's happening for a neighborhood north of Hazeldean Road and west of Timbermere. But they're doing some groundwater testing because that development, they want to make sure that it's not impacting any of the natural systems and groundwater south of Hazeldean Road. So they need to do some of this testing. So I'll post something about that on my website this week, but FYI, heads up. And the last thing today is I wanted to do a shout out to Grant Richardson. A lot of folks will know Grant. He was a former minister at Stittsville United Church. He celebrated a birthday earlier this month, so happy birthday, Grant. And he's going through some really big health challenges right now with cancer. So Grant, we're thinking of you, community's thinking of you, and I hope you're getting a lot of care, and I hope you are winning this battle and putting up a good fight. So take care, Grant. And to everyone else, thank you for tuning in and watching today. Thank you for tuning in every week and staying up to date with the community. And maybe I'll see you back here a little bit later for the Butter Tart Festival. Take care. Bye.